Hey, how you doing? I'm Bill Geissele here at the Geissele booth at SHOT Show 2018, and you guys know me by my screen name on AR15.com, SAG Mill. All right, so I'm going to go over some of the new products we have here coming out in 2018. The first one here is the Socom Block 3 upper receiver group, more commonly known as urg-i, upper receiver group improved. We won a competition by USASOC on a rail that we made exclusively for them and our ACH charging handle. What they're doing is they're taking their M4 carbines and they're upgrading them with a Daniel Defense 14.5-inch mid-length barrel, excellent hammer forged chrome line barrel with a low profile gas block, and they're using the Geissele Mark 16 rail. And this rail right here, you'll notice it has a nice slim profile because there's becoming a lot of three-gun influence into what the U.S. military wants to see on their small arms. Has M-lock on all the quadrants, including up on the upper 45s. It uses our 2.5-inch barrel nut, which is very easy to install. If you've ever installed a Geissele rail, you know it's like bing, bang, boom, and on it is. No fooling around, no goofing around with little screws. Extremely, extremely rigid rail. The screws are T30 Torx. They're captive. They don't fall out when you take it off. And of course, you are familiar with the supercharging handle. Well, this is the ACH airborne charging handle, just a little bit more compact right here. And everything does not have bright white laser marking. You'll notice right here, the roll marking here of Geissele automatics on here. They don't want bright white roll markings on their guns anymore. So this is the upper receiver group improved. You're going to find this at Brownells. They're going to be the first ones to carry it. We're going to have the entire kit and caboodle with a tier 1 mil spec bolt carrier and bolt, the Daniel Defense barrel, surefire flash hider, pinned and welded. So it will be the real deal that you can put on your AR-15.
This one, well, I was just using the DMR because this is the one. If you like flat bow, this is the one. If you don't like flat...
Finally, in this gun, we have our first single stage trigger for the AR-15. It's called the SSP, Super Speed Precision. Now, this has been 2 years of development. We had a first generation that we let some of these guys out and people really liked them. But what we do is, we test our triggers on an automatic tester that runs as fast as an M16 at around 600 rounds a minute. So we've tested our triggers up to 250,000 dry fires. And this one tester, we have two of them. One is mechanical, one is electromechanical. The mechanical one I call Old Betsy. It literally has tens of millions of dry fires on that machine. I'm not talking 10 million or 20 million or 50 million. It's probably up closer into the 100 million mark. We run triggers all the time, testing all kinds of different things, whether it's coatings, different heat treatments, different lubricants, you name it, we test them. The tester is so severe because it doesn't really mimic what goes on in the gun that we pop the heads off of firing pins left and right. We got bags of firing pins that go through this guy. So for longevity, Geissele triggers, they're there for the long haul. But what we found in our Gen 1 SSP is that once you get into the tens of thousands of rounds, the trigger pull degraded. It wasn't unsafe, didn't wear, but it didn't meet the Geissele quality standards. So we went to Generation 2 SSP, and that's what you got here. And what it is, it's a beautiful single stage trigger. Just a touch on this guy, it's coming in at about 3.5 pounds, and away you go. Now what's different than other single stage triggers out on the market, uses a full power hammer spring. All right, a lot of these cartridge triggers out there, they all use compromised hammer springs because it's easy to get a good trigger pull when you put a lighter weight spring in there. But what happens? Your lock time goes through the roof, okay? Your accuracy goes down the tubes due to the lock time, and not only that, due to the decrease in ignition performance of your primer. It's a known fact, okay? So if you put a trigger in your gun with a compromised hammer spring, you might as well just take a ball peen hammer and pound on the end of your muzzle, okay, and bash it all up because you're making your gun more inaccurate. SSP, full power hammer spring, no cartridge that can click, gets clogged up with dirt and then stops working when you're running with a suppressor. This is combat ready. Geissele Super Speed Precision. Coming soon, and it'll be at Brownells.
as the SSAE.
And there we go. Super 700 Geissele bolt gun trigger right here. It's been a long time in development, but we finally got something that meets our standards. This trigger is available in two ways, single stage and two stage. It's the identical trigger, except one is set up as single stage and one is two stage. If you buy a single stage, you can convert it into the two stage. And the same thing with the two stage to single stage. We just do it that way because some people know they want a single stage and they just want to pop this guy in and go to town. This trigger has a triple redundant safety. All right, if you look right here, you'll notice how this thing pops back and forth. When you feel it, it feels like a bank vault closing. Instead of some mushy gushy type safety on here, this guy just snaps into place and it blocks the trigger, the internal mechanism, and the transfer bar. Three things. So the time of pulling your safety on, pulling the trigger, okay, and then at some time when you pop the safety off and the gun discharges, that's gone. This trigger prevents that. This is a great trigger. You can go down to about a pound or so on the first stage, up to about 3.5, and on the two stage trigger, your break can go down as low as 8 ounces. Okay, 8-ounce break. That means you have an 8-ounce trigger, an effective trigger, yet with the large sear engagement of a two stage trigger. A two stage trigger, you get safety, reliability, forgiveness, performance in one package. And I know there's a lot of bolt gun guys out there and they're all single stage. That's great, that's why we got it. But you know what? I'm hoping to convert some of you to the two stage, okay? Because you just get an absolute beautiful trigger pull. And you'll notice this guy here is the single stage, set up as 2.5 pounds, beautiful, no creep, just gorgeous. And you put your finger on that trigger bow and you know how a little bit different looking than most triggers out there. The reason is when you put your finger on that bow, your finger does not rub here on the rifle, okay? It stays away from it. That's how we did that. And that's detrimental to accuracy. The housing, completely CNC machined out of billet aluminum copper alloy. All the internal mechanism, our nano weapon, that's our exclusive type of hard lube coating. All of our nano weapon for corrosion and wear resistance. Again, this trigger, built like a bank vault, Geissele Super 700, I call it the smile maker, because just about everybody on range day, as soon as they shot that, they had a big grin on their face. Again, available at Brownells, you can pre-order it there. They're our great partner. You can find all kinds of stuff at the Brownells website, everything to accessorize your AR-15 or do gunsmithing or anything you need. It's all there, and they got their giant catalog, all right, that you can get from them, and you can just take your Saturday night and put your feet up by the fire and read that catalog for hours on end. So these are new products from Geissele. Please visit our website, and of course, make sure that you come into our live streams here, because there is going to be a live stream here for AR-15 for a giveaway of a rifle, plus all kinds of other good gear like our knives, Abraham and Moses knives, and triggers and rails. So thanks for listening, and take care.